As President of the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment Association, it gives me great pleasure. Can you hear me? Yes? Yeah? Yes? Yeah. Okay, I'll get them close to the mic. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this very important event in the history of the regiment. My first duty is to welcome the Queen's representative in the county, the Lord Lieutenant Helen Nellis, Air Vice Marshal Alan Merriman, Deputy Lieutenant of Hertfordshire, the High Sheriffs of Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire, the mayors and chairmen of those boroughs which have granted the freedom of their boroughs to the regiment, including Stevenage, who have granted their freedom of their borough to the Royal Anglian Regiment, and Kempston, which between 1881 and 1958 was the depot for the Bedfordshire Regiment, later the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment, maintaining the regimental memorial and garden. I must welcome too the many members and friends of the association, some of whom have travelled long distances to be here today. And lastly, I must thank the headmaster of Bedford School, John Moore, who together with Richard Garrett and Kate Carter has given considerable help to make this parade such a memorable event for us all. The regiment can trace its origins as far back as 1688, when the raising of a regiment of foot was authorised by King James II in response to the threat posed to his throne by William of Orange. The regiment saw service under the Duke of Marlborough and took part in the battles of Blenheim, Ramillies, Oudenarde and Malplaquet, honours which are proudly borne on the regimental colour to this day. During the First World War, the regiment was greatly expanded. 11 battalions were mobilised and 7 Victoria Crosses were won. Casualties were recorded as 6,100 killed and 1,300 wounded. In forming the Regimental Association, 22 branches represented the battalion, campaign and geographically located associations, 3 in London, 3 in Essex and 16 in the 2 counties of Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. In the Second World War, the regiment raised 12 battalions of regulars, territorial service, reserve, garrisons, transport workers and young soldiers. They sustained 1,100 killed and 3,300 wounded. By 1949, association membership stood at 1,000 in 11 branches. However, by this year, membership had fallen to 300 in 4 branches, and it was unanimously agreed that the association should be amalgamated with the Royal Anglian Regiment Association, with members and branches transferring into this association. It is my hope that support for the Royal Anglian Regiment Association will be as important now and in the future as ever it was in 1949 and 1919. The aims and objectives remain the same, incorporating social welfare, comradeship and support for regular and territorial battalions of the Royal Anglian Regiment. This parade today is not a disbandment. It is an amalgamation which we mark today with a band playing, standards flying and heads held high. In other words, a bang and not a whimper. I now hand over to Major General Simon Porter, Chairman of the Royal Anglian Regimental Association.
The Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regimental Association, Mr. Sheriff, Mayors, Chairman of Boroughs, Councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and to those on parade. It gives me enormous pleasure to be here today. Indeed, I'm privileged to be part of this event for the Royal Anglian Regiment and the illustrious county regiments which formed that regiment 50 years ago. The tenure of my own regiment is nothing compared to that of yours, with a heritage, as your President said, going back to 1688. But rather than compare 2 periods of time, I like to think of the passing of regimental days as a continuum. Although it may have felt different on the day it happened, those amalgamations, those rebadgings that took place 50 years ago were the passing of a baton of memories, traditions customs and fighting spirit. And your battle honours are on that colour behind you today. A colour which has been presented in 1995 and will be refreshed on the last Sunday of this month when the Duke of Gloucester, as our Colonel-in-Chief, presents new colours to the Royal Anglian Regiment's 3 battalions at Duxford. Those colours carry forward your battle honours. D Company of the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Anglian Regiment carries forward your name. The battalion wears the black and primrose flash on its battle dress. They are but 3 symbols of the connection between you, your regiment, and the modern regiment, the Royal Anglian Regiment. They are symbols of the way we, the modern regiment, honour the link between you. You are the heroes of the past, those who used to wear uniform for the Crown. And today on parade with you are the guardians of the future, those who wear uniform today in the service of the Crown. But so many things are the same. Pride, discipline, courage, devotion to duty, superhuman efforts, and ultimately sacrifice. They remain the hallmarks which you lived by when you were in uniform, and they remain the hallmarks that the people in uniform live by today. And today is particularly poignant, because this weekend and tomorrow the country marks the start of the Great War, where battalions from Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire fought with such distinction. Indeed, my grandfather fought with the Hertfordshire Regiment on the Western Front, was awarded a Distinguished Conduct Medal in 1918. So I mention that because the connection is personal. The connection between your regiment and the modern regiment is personal. And so for my last few words, the men of the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment who wore their cap badge with the 8-pointed star, the Maltese cross and the heart, you may be marching off parade for the last time as an association, but what you have given the modern regiment is immeasurable. What you have given us in terms of pride, heritage and tradition stands us in good stead for whatever the future may hold for the modern regiment. And for that I thank you, for that I salute you.